a very interesting coin issued by Mughal Emperor Akbar in the year 1605. As most of you must be knowing about the Mughal Emperor Akbar and the Mughal Empire. Akbar ruled over nearly the whole of North Indian subcontinent, and that was in the early 17th century. He ruled for nearly 50 years from 1556 to 1605. In fact, he ruled 50 years, but he couldn't complete his 50th year. Actually, he ruled for 49 years, 8 months and 16 days. But the celebration of his Golden Jubilee started in the 50th year, and he issued some special coins which are really important historically as well as numismatically. This 50th year, it falls in the Ilahi year 50. Ilahi year is the year in which he started his own era. Now in this Ilahi year, the 50th year, we have found some really interesting and very important coins. One of them is this gold coin called half mohr. In this coin, you will see there is a figure here of a lady and a gentleman here. Now, I would like to zoom this. Now, any Hindu or any person familiar with the Indian or Hindu mythology will immediately identify this human figure as Lord Ram. Here, Ram is standing with a bow and an arrow in his right hand. He is wearing a crown here, and there are 5 arrows on his back. If you see his drapery, he's not that royal robes you can find here. He is wearing a kind of 3/4 trouser or a dhoti. But when it comes to his consort, goddess Sita, here you can see she looks like an aged or middle-aged woman. She is having a veil in her left hand. It's called a ghungat in India, and she is also having some ornaments on her top, as her necklace, and even on her arms. And she is wearing a kind of royal robes. Now, coming to the reverse side of this coin, it's inscribed in Persian, which reads from here. It says Farwardin Ilahi 5050. This is a gold coin of about 5 grams, about 20 mm in diameter, and it's called a half mohr. Now, we have found at least 4 specimens of the same coin. Here are these 4 specimens. Now these coins mostly are from the museums, Vienna Museum, London Museum, Paris Bibliothèque Nationale, and this one is in trade. So here you can see in all these first 3 coins, the same figures are repeated, and on the reverse also the same type of the legend is there. Now, if you compare all these coins except the 4th one, all of these 3 coins are minted from the same set of dies. There's not a single change in either of the obverse or on the reverse of these dies. But now, coming to the 4th coin, here you can see it's again the same die, either on the obverse or on the reverse, but there is an addition here of a early Devanagari script. It says in Devanagari, Ram-Sita, which means Ram-Sita. Now, why this is inscribed here, we'll have a look slightly in a few seconds now. Now, if you compare these 2 coins with the legend here and without the legend here, you can see there is a lot of scope here for some inscriptions, but it was not there in the original die. But now if you compare here, this legend, it seems, has been re-engraved on the die. Here the legend was not that sufficient space was not available on this coin, so the die engraver has tried to add and adjust the legend here. Even he had made some mistakes in writing seer here. Now, we also have found a silver coin called half rupee coin of the same type. Again, the same type of figures are there of Lord Ram and Sita with another Devanagari script here, which is again juxtaposed on this die, on this image. You can see here it says in very crude Devanagari, Ram-Sita. But this coin is different from the earlier coin. On all these 4 gold coins, the month of issue was Ilahi 50 and Farwardin, which was the first month of the year 50. But on the silver coin, we are finding the month name as Amardat. It says Amardat Ilahi 50. This is a silver half rupee coin. Now, if we compare here, the Farwardin is the first month and Amardat is the 5th month. Now, if we correlate this first month of the Ilahi year 50 with Christian era, it corresponds to 21st of March to 20th April 1605. And the same applies to Amardat, which comes to 23rd July to 22nd August 1605. Now, it means that these coins in gold and silver were issued for 2 months at least, Farwardin and Amardat. We don't know whether these coins were issued beyond Amardat or between 2nd and the 4th of these months. Now, if we compare this time frame of 21st March to 20th April, it actually comes on the date when this coin was issued. Now, if we compare this time frame of Farwardin, then we find that according to the Hindu calendar, Lord Ram's birth anniversary falls, which is called Ram-Navami, on the Tuesday 29th of March 1605. So it's a highly correlation that this coin has to do something with Ram-Navami, because this was issued on the 50th year of Akbar, and which falls rightly on the Ram-Navami date, which comes in the month of Farwardin. So this has to be do something with this Ram-Navami or the anniversary of Ram. Now, here if you compare these portraiture of Ram and Sita on gold coins and compare the same with those of silver coins, there is a lot of difference. Here Sita is depicted as an elderly woman, middle-aged woman, having a gungat, a veil in her left hand. But the same when it comes to silver half rupee coin is totally different. Here Sita looks like a newlywed teenager. She is wearing a kind of gagra. She is not having any veil here. She is having a bud of some flowers in both her hands. And even Ram is depicted totally different in this coin. Here you can see Ram is also having a crown, which is again there on the gold coins. But here the royal robes are shown along with bow and arrow. Now, if we compare the depiction of Ram when he went to forest Vanvas, he had dropped all his royal robes and all his ornaments, and everything was kept at Ayodhya, and he wore the dresses of a common monk. But on this coin, if you see here, why this crown is given? Now, in dearth of any name or any label on these coins, anyone can identify as any couple. But if you have to identify this couple as Ram and Sita, you have to show some attributes of royal patronage. So by this crown, the die engraver tried to give this figure, the figure of Ram, along with his bow and arrow. Now here he is more specific with his crown and the royal robes. Now, coming to all these discussions, now we come to the conclusion that these coins were issued most probably during the birth anniversary of Lord Ram, which falls on the 29th of March 1605, which corresponds to the month of Farwardin. Now, in the beginning, these coins were issued without any label in Devanagari, which says Ram-Sita. Thirdly, all the gold coins of Ram-Sita are known from the same set of dies. But nearly after 5 months of issue, we find Ram-Sita is inscribed or re-engraved on the same die and new coins have been issued. Why after 5 months? Let's see. In the month of Amardat, the 5th month, we find again silver coins, but here again, there is not enough space of Devanagari legend here. So here it seems that these coins were issued and these dies were re-engraved with the legend here, which is very corrupt. It says Ram-Sita. So it means these silver coins were issued in the month of Amardat, maybe beyond in the later period where the dies were re-engraved. Now, so if these coins were re-engraved in the month of Amardat, we also finding the gold coins which are having with the same legend of Ram-Sita. So it seems quite possible that these gold coins were also re-engraved in the month of Amardat or in some other later months. Now, if we find here, as I told you earlier, this Ram-Sita is again very crudely executed here, which is not the case of a royal die engraver. So it seems that these silver coins were issued in the beginning of the Amardat month without the label of Ram-Sita, and later on, due to some pressure from the Hindu officers or his so-called Hindu wife, this Ram-Sita was inscribed to say that this is actually the figure of Ram and Sita. So it is quite possible that we may find out in future where these silver coins doesn't have this Ram-Sita legend. So again, now these coins are issued by a Mughal emperor, who is a Muslim, and he is issuing coins which are totally opposite of his faith. So here we are finding the icons of Lord Ram and Sita on his coin, and he's also giving the name to be very specific that these coins are issued actually with the figures of Ram and Sita. So these coins actually are the best examples of Hindu-Muslim cultures, which is called in India for last 300 years as Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb. So this is the best ever numismatic discovery we have found, where the confluence of Hindu and Muslim cultures are shown in a single coin. I'm thankful to the British Museum London, Kunst Historical Museum Vienna, Classical Numismatic Group London, Bibliothèque Nationale Paris, NGC, BCGS, Mr. Jan Lingen, Mr. Amit Mehta, and friends, all of you, worldofcoins.eu, for giving me this opportunity to present a few of my findings to you. Even you can find a small video on these coins, which was uploaded on my YouTube channel. Thank you, friends. Thanks a lot for your time and your attention. Thank you. If you have any questions, I would love to answer your questions, or if you want to keep it in the end part, we will do that. Peter.
Actually, yeah, there are a couple of questions in the chats. I can read them to you, or you can put the chat on your screen and read them yourself.
Yeah, I'm reading it. Fine. Shashwat is saying that how many of these gold coins are known or expected to be minted? Fine. Gold coins are known, only 4 gold coins are known. And we don't know actually how many must have been minted. But if we compare the mintages of coins and the dies, maybe not a few thousand coins should have been minted. And as far as this silver coins are known, I think only 3 coins are known in private collections. Now, the second question is, does the Ram-Sita legend have any vowels? Would it be fair to assume that an engraver well versed in Persian and not in Devanagari was tasked with engraving this? Yeah, it's quite possible, because if you see and compare this Ram-Sita script along with other script of the same period in the manuscripts, it's quite crude. So it's quite possible that the person must not have been well versed in Devanagari. So that's the reason there is a very crude execution of this Devanagari legend on this coin. Where these coins were minted, they should have been minted at Agra, though there is no mint name on these coins, but it seems that they were quite popular, possibly minted at Agra. Arav Tokania says that, do we have any written history back about the issue of these coins? No, I'm afraid we don't have any chronicle evidence about issuing of these coins. why it's that mint name is not found on. There are many coins which were issued by Urdu Mint or by Agra Mint, and they are normally called as mintless type. So we do have mintless variety where mint name is not given. So again, this is a kind of continuation of the same mintless type coins. What are the different methods, basis we use to authenticate these coins? Well, numismatic evidence is the main thing. Once we know the calligraphy, once we know the type of technique which was issued, and if we compare all those things with the other known examples of Mughal Emperor Akbar, definitely we can say that this is genuine coin, and there is no problem in authenticating these coins. Fine. Any more questions? Okay.
There is one more from George Guhaj.
Yeah, it looks like this is a different variety of especially giving this background of floral background. So it's a different type of invert variety. Right.
I also have a question, and I don't have to type, haha. So I'll make use of that privilege then. In the beginning of your presentation, I got the impression that you were playing with the idea that the coins were actually commemoratives of Akbar's 50th Jubilee reign. And I was wondering if it wasn't possible that it would be a commemoration of that, plus a connection with Ram, as you argued, in the sense that Akbar was saying that he had the sort of function on earth that Ram had in heaven.
Yeah, maybe, quite possible. But because we are finding most of these type of coins in the 50th year, so it has to do something with his celebration of his 50th year, and I think he is the first Muslim ruler in India who completed 50 years or who reached 50th year. So must be that there has been a cause of celebration for these coins, and it could have been correlated with Ram-Navami, the anniversary of Ram. So maybe we are finding here two special occasions to issue a special coin like this.
I also have a more technical question for you. If I understand you correctly, there are 4 of the gold coins known, and 3 of them do not have the label, and 1 does have the label.
Right.
I also see that the one who does have the label, it's not the only one, but it does have a ring suggesting that it was used for jewelry.
Right.
I wonder if it has ever been researched if this coin is pure gold or maybe a silver coin that was gilded to be worn as jewelry.
Yeah, we do have many references in Aine Akbari when even Jahangir and Akbar say that they issued these coins and they're supposed to be minted, they are supposed to be used as a locket or a pendant. So for example, Jahangir clearly says in his autobiography that he caused these zodiac coins to be issued, and they were they should be used as a pendant over their turbans. So for that they have to have this mount on the top of the coin, and that's how they must have been used.